Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the next installment in reviewing each of the films in this Hammer Films 20 disc set that I've been going through. Now we've actually crossed the halfway mark on this. I believe this is video number 11. Anyways, this for the latest installment is for the 1960 film Stop Me Before I Kill, which is also known as The Full Treatment. But of course, before we get into all that, a quick reminder that if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon to get a notification when I put up another video, which is usually once or twice a week. Go ahead and check out my back catalog as well, see if there's any other videos that you enjoy, and be sure to share this channel and this video around because it honestly does help out quite a bit. Now, with all that being said, let's jump back in here with Stop Me Before I Kill, which has a synopsis as follows. After surviving a traumatic car accident, a race car driver travels to Côte d'Azur to recover, but is plagued by an urge to strangle his wife. Very light synopsis on that one, so that there's a bit more going on here. First, like other films in this set, I had to read the synopsis so I wouldn't be caught too off guard by the fact that this one isn't horror or terror really, even though the box set really talks about the chills and the terror behind it. So, I want to have at least a little bit of info about the movie going into it. And this one is definitely more of a psychological thriller and a mystery of sorts than any kind of horror. And the story isn't as plain and straightforward as that synopsis indicates, where it says while recovering from the accident, you see this race car driver character, Alan, played by Ronald Lewis, have these wild mood swings. Everything is fine one moment, the next he's jumping to conclusions, he's filled with suspicion, anger, getting a bit violent even. However, his wife is there by his side to calm him down, reel him back in, and so on. She's very devoted to making sure that this marriage works and helping him through the problems that he's dealing with after this, horrific accident. So much of this film throughout the first half is just about their relationship and his outbursts, his fears of getting behind the wheel again, trying to get over that, his frustration with the feelings that he's experiencing as well, wanting to strangle his wife. He doesn't know where these tendencies are coming from. So eventually, he kind of gives in and sees this therapist who him and his wife had met while they were on vacation recovering from that accident. And that therapist is diving deeper into his psyche to try to find out what's making him feel this way and having some exercises to help him kind of overcome that. Now, honestly, there is a point where it does get a bit boring. It's around the 40-minute mark. I actually even turned it off for a bit, take a break, pick it up the next day, which I'd never done before with one of these films. I always watched them all the way through. But I was glad that I picked it up the next day to finish it off that story because there are some twists involving the therapy sessions and the aftermath, which kind of brings it all home. Of course, I'm not really going to go into all that spoiler territory, but just know that as you approach the ending, there are twists and turns that unfold that kind of make that journey worth it, worth working through when it starts to feel a bit boring, about halfway through. The only negative twist really is understanding, or the only negative thing about that twist is really understanding how it could come to be, how that twist, which involves a therapist, could even happen. It seems like there's quite a big leap you're having to take to really believe that these things have unfolded. Now, from what I understand, this was based on a book, so perhaps they had to cut a lot of details from that book to be able to fit this into an hour and 45-minute movie. And, I think since they had to cut some of that out, maybe it left out some detail that wouldn't have had me questioning that twist as much. Now, this movie was all right. It's not to the point where I would highly recommend this like I've done with some of the others. I wouldn't really highly recommend that you seek this one out. But if you have access, whether you have the box set or you come across it somewhere else and are so inclined, you may enjoy it as a, decent mid-range retro film to check out if you can get over the fact that the character of Alan looks a lot like David Hasselhoff. There's no relation, I checked, but it was a bit distracting for a bit since I did grow up with Knight Rider. But anyways, yeah, another quick, short little review for this one. Mid-range, worth sticking through to the end. Speaking of sticking through to the end, thanks for sticking through to the end of this little review here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you take those YouTube things to heart that I mentioned earlier in the video. And I will see you in the next one.